Hello and welcome to episode 4. It is 4.
I'm pretty sure it's 4.
Episode 4 of Things We Play. My name's Mike Goldman. To my left is... Who's to my left? Shaun.
I have to work it out.
Shaun Hart is to my left. And Shaun's left, almost directly opposite me. It's very wonderful. Who have we got?
What, me? Shaun.
So come on guys, let's speak up. Right, okay, so here we are. We're all here. We're all here. Shaun, you here?
I'm here.
You ready?
Ready.
You willing? You playing ball? You stepping
Winning.
up? You're winning.
By winning.
Alright, well, we'll see. It's been 2 weeks. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. It's always 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And we're back once again, like the Renegade Master, to talk about some games that we've been playing. We've been playing. There's been some games. Do you think after it's post E3 now, is that lull? There's kind of not a great deal, but there's been some fairly decent games that have come out recently.
Yeah. It's quite surprising.
Yeah.
Because none of us were expecting there to be any games.
Well, apart from those of us that checked what games are coming out.
No, we knew what games were coming out.
All right. So yes, what have we been playing? Let's Cheryl. I think actually you can start us off.
Yeah.
Today.
Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Well,
The American
or
McGee.
Alice.
Madness Returns.
Yeah.
As it's currently known.
Same difference. It's fine. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. We've all had a bit of a go on that, right?
Yeah.
We had to go on Alice, yeah.
A bit of a go on Alice. We've all ridden Alice. And what do we think?
Personally, I think as a game, it's boring as fuck. To be fair.
There you go. Don't hold back.
But I do like the presentation, the way they did the story a lot darker. Some real, just terrible references, like talking about Alice selling herself on the street and shit.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's that American McGee dark vision of the Alice in Wonderland stuff, isn't it? And that was kind of the draw with the first one. In fact, you get the first one with it, don't you?
Yeah.
Digital download for it or whatever. And the first one was weird. It came out in a time where it was Unreal. It was Unreal Engine stuff, and you didn't have anything on that apart from FPSs. So it was kind of weird to have this third-person adventure. And it just kind of looked cool. It was no longer sort of boxy, squarey rooms that you're used to from Unreal, and you were getting weird curves and dark, freaky shapes and architecture and stuff. And the second one's just like that, isn't it? It looks wicked.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I probably share your opinion that actually as a game, it's all right, but nothing grabbed me about it. It just kind of works.
Yeah,
It's kind
it's
of
just
an
the
okay
overall presentation of it.
Yeah.
Drags you in.
And that looks awesome. It's got wicked hair tech in it. The hair looks awesome.
Yeah.
And anyone that's down with that sort of Lolita-like Alice style, will love it. And emo kids around the world. I thought it was alright.
Yeah.
It's dark. It's pretty dark.
Yeah,
because this is like Wonderland's fucked, isn't it? It's like previously. I can't remember the story of it, but it was,
the story is her returning.
Yeah, and it's like she's nuts and everything's
crazy,
just horrific. But it's cool. The art style's awesome. And all the it's almost got like an industrial sort of steampunk vibe to it, which looks
very
really
kind of Fable-free, kind of reminiscent.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Victoria.
But a lot more darker, definitely.
Yeah, certainly.
But it's 3D platforming. Isn't
Yeah.
it? It's Crash Bandicoot in a dress with some eyeliner, sort of,
And some knives.
and a vorpal blade. Yeah. The combat's alright. I thought the combat was okay actually. It's sort of like it's just Zelda, it's like Zelda style lock-on combat stuff. But it's pretty intense. It's quite hard.
Yeah, no doubt.
And you have to be sort of reasonably tactical with it. Flipping between your vorpal blade and your pepper grinder or whatever it is.
And
that she
obviously the
uses.
powers, the way it dodges, just turned into butterflies.
It just had, for me, nothing stood out about it that made me kind of want to carry on playing it.
Yeah.
It looked awesome, but that wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And it had annoying bits, like some of the platforming is really annoying.
Yeah.
I don't like the shrinking down in size to see invisible platforms. There was one bit I think where I had to because on the left trigger I think you shrink down all the time to do it, and you can see fairy writing or whatever. And sometimes that would make platforms appear, and then you could get large and jump on them. But if they disappeared, like when you get large again, you can still see them for a bit, but they fade out slowly, and it makes you think that they're kind of always there, and you can only see them when you're small. So if I know it's there, I can just take a flying leap when I'm large, and I'll land on it, even though I can't see it. And that's not the case at all. So if you can't see it and it's faded away, it's gone. And that was,
It's frustrating more than anything.
It's just 3D platforming, isn't it? Which is kind of harsh. So, Alice is alright.
Yeah.
I didn't play very much of it. First couple of
I
chapters.
played
yeah,
like
same as.
I think I'm on the second chapter. I mean, the only thing I can like guess on it is that it's a massively long game.
Yeah, because chapters were really long,
Yeah,
weren't they?
I mean, I was on it 2 hours, and it said end of chapter 1, and I was shocked. I was like, Jesus, that's not good. But I wouldn't play it all the way through. I don't think I've got the staying power to do so.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to change as well.
No,
it looks like it's the
no,
same
it's gonna
thing
be the
throughout the
same
entire
stuff,
game.
yeah.
So, all right, fair enough. Well, anything else? What else have you played?
Child of Eden, Shaun played it.
Yeah, I had a quick thrash on it. I didn't get an extensive go, and I played it with joypad only.
See, I've only played it with Kinect.
Aha.
You see.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's a tough game, and I don't. The instructions aren't quite clear. I mean, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't spend a lot of time with it, but it kind of claimed along the lines of you could only destroy bullets with your pink flashy attack, which isn't the case. You can destroy them with rapid fire.
Right. Okay. Did you play Res? Were you a big fan of Res?
I played Res a couple of times. I wasn't a massive fan.
Because that's almost, this game is just almost entirely for Res fans, isn't it? It's kind of not.
It's
My
a spiritual
understanding is that it's had a
successor
really
at the end
limited
of the day.
release. There's not actually many copies of it about, like overall in comparison to other stuff. So it may be something that eventually you would just struggle to get. I mean, it stinks of a downloadable title that's just come out as a. I mean, Microsoft needed boxed Kinect games badly, which is why like Gunstringer as well is now a box copy, isn't it?
One, yeah.
So, but it does feel like it's an XBLA thing. I didn't try it with the controller at all. I tried it with Kinect, and it was cool. I really liked it. But it was only because it was just a different. It doesn't feel like a game at all. It feels like some sort of weird digital experience thing, and it's a bit tricky because you only use one hand at once, and you've got to be really aware of the fact that it's watching you all the time. So you want to do other stuff with your arms, and that will kind of ruin it a little bit.
Right.
But it was, it was kind of cool. It's what it is, I suppose. I'm myself not a massive fan of Res. Thought they, looked nice, but the gameplay is stressful. They're stressful games.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of assaulted, like aggressively assaulted with calm, trance-like experience stuff. Images and this girl and all this other stuff. And it's just like, no, it's really fucking stressful. Leave me alone.
And I must admit, with both that and Res, I don't get the whole music thing. It doesn't sound like music. It doesn't sound like you're creating music. It sounds like there's sound effects.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I can.
Sounds like dubstep.
But then I'm not really into kind of techno or trance or house or any of that electronic stuff, so it wouldn't appeal to me anyway.
No, it's a valid point.
Primarily because I don't take E's.
Which is something that I'd imagine a lot of people, or certainly was used in the process of creating both
possibly.
Res and Child of Eden.
And it might make it a much better game.
Yeah. But I think it's all right. I think it's one of those games that if you're thinking about should I buy it or should I not buy it, probably you shouldn't buy it. It's like the people that are going to most love that game are the people that just know that they've got to buy it. Like, they've been waiting for another Mizuguchi game and they love Res and they're like, yes, I need that. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
No one else needs to really buy that game. So yeah, if you're not already excited about it, probably not going to be.
And the fact that it's a full price title as well. It's 40 quid. You're not going to want to spend on that.
Yeah, I think that's true.
13, I think maybe people would have gone for it more, but 40 quid, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, it makes me wonder whether it'll do better or what sales will be like when it goes on Games on Demand or anything like that, because it's much more suited to that sort of purchase, I would say. All right, okay. So Child of Eden, all right, not too bad. Alice, yeah, all right, not too bad.
It's going well.
What else have we played? What have I played?
What
have you played?
Well, I played Alice, didn't I?
You
played Child of Eden.
You didn't buy Shadows in the end, did you?
Shadows of the Damned. I've seen it. No, I haven't bought it. I've seen maybe the first sort of 10 minutes or so of it. That game is nuts. You picked it up, didn't you, Shaun?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, have you done much of it yet?
Again, I think I'm like third chapter now. Obviously, it plays like Resident Evil 4. They've now brought in a sidekick, which he's supposed to be British, but it's an American British accent.
So there's just to set up. So it's like Shadows of the Damned is it's Suda 51 of No More Heroes and Killer 7 fame, and Grasshopper Manufacturer make sort of like, not always the best games, but certainly visually interesting and compelling experiences and stuff. And then it's Shinji Mikami who's directing the whole stuff, who's the Resi 4 guy. So it's basically a third-person shooter, isn't it? It looks kind of Resi 4-ish, I suppose, but then goes batshit insane because of Grasshopper and Suda51. So you're talking about the psychic then. The basic mechanic for it is you've got this like demon skull, talking skull, who's basically seems like they've gone for a Wheatley from Portal 2 sort of vibe.
I thought that straight away.
And he transforms into all your weapons.
Yeah.
Transforms into your pistol and your gun and a torch and whatever else, and that's how all that stuff. So that's already kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing I know about it is it's got some sort of darkness mechanic in it where when you're in the shadows, you basically are constantly losing energy.
Yeah.
So you have to fire at lanterns across the maps to light them up so that you don't take damage.
Yeah.
Which looks like that could be horrifically
irritating.
Yeah, it's one of those sort of, what is this? It's like forced gameplay, But it looks quite good.
Yeah, I mean, graphically, I don't think it's anything special.
No, I mean, it looks like any other Unreal Engine
pretty enough,
game.
But it looks a bit sketchy in areas. I mean, the enemies I come across at the moment, they're pretty bog standard. Ghouls, all the same colour.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's okay at the moment. There's no melee, which annoys me quite a bit. So, like, up close combat just isn't going to happen. You've literally just got to run away and turn around and start aiming at them again.
It's got wicked presentation though. Like when you first go through the cutscene and then when you're choosing the menus and it's like the camera's hovering around. It's like a road movie. The whole thing's like some like Grindhouse style road movie. And you see him get on his bike when I think the skull turns into a bike,
right? And
then he gets on it, and then the options menu, which is your difficulty and like modes or whatever, is part of that. He's riding the bike, and the camera pans around him in every shot. It looks wicked. It's slick.
I mean, there's little things like apparently there's a lot of 2D elements in it.
Oh, really?
Where you go into a 2D mode, which is sort of shown on the loading screen, where you've got your little character, and when obviously you go further into the game, your character moves up. So it's just a big map of where you're going in the game.
Oh no, it's got like almost like a Ghosts and Goblins style freaking map screen. It's just like a 2D.
But from what I've heard, you actually play it like that.
Oh really?
At some points into it, I don't know how they're gonna make that up. But
yeah, it's cool. I will pick it up because I think it looks awesome. And like I say, Grasshopper do some cool stuff, and it's clever having it be it's an Unreal Engine game from Japan, which is already kind of weird in itself. But it gives you that grounding where you're like, the game's never going to be like Killer 7 and No More Heroes were both tricky sort of games to a lot of people. But this, at its core, is still just kind of Resi 4.
Yeah.
So you always kind of know, I can do this, I know how to aim, I know how to shoot, and I know all these things. And then they can just do whatever the fuck they want with it, and they don't have to worry about the player so much. So I'd imagine it will probably do some weird stuff. I thought the demon sidekick Wheatley dude was kind of annoying because he's not quite as good as Wheatley, but they've clearly gone for that. He makes lots of jokes and is British. And,
kind of.
Lead character's name's Garcia Hotspur, which is awesome.
He looks like crap.
He's wicked, man.
His character design sucks arse.
You don't like him, do you?
The purple leather jacket, no.
You're just jealous.
Maybe.
He's just, he's got, I don't know, I kind of like the attitude of the game, I think. It's, most generic title in the history of the world, just shadows.
There's a lot of sexual innuendos in it right at the beginning as well. It's just a bit filth, which we all like.
It's fair, we've got room for that.
Yeah, why not?
So that's it, so definitely be picking that up. I played a bit of, actually went back and played Halo in the last couple of weeks. Mainly because after coming out of E3 and all the talk of like the anniversary edition, I just thought, I want to play some Halo, and I haven't played it since it came out because I've always connected my 360 to a monitor or TV through the VGA cable, and Halo never supported that, so you can't use it. But now I'm on HDMI. I thought I'll just fire it up. It looks brilliant. It looks really good. I mean, obviously, I love Halo anyway, and regardless of what you think of the graphics or its design, anyway, this is the best it's ever looked. It's like it's a higher resolution than I've ever played it at. And it's sharp, and just like it's like, wow, the emulation's really doing a good job on it now. So that was cool, and I played through about 70% of the game, and then because it's an awesome game. You forget how good Halo is. Like it's really easy to just when you think about Halo, just think about multiplayer, and that's largely what governs it now. But you play back to the original one, And it's just like you forget how polished every aspect of that game is, from just like the core experience to the story to the music to the dialogue of the characters you're fighting alongside them. It's awesome, wicked game.
I mean, it's aged well as well.
Yeah, it has. It really has.
It looks good.
So I'm desperate for the remake now, and that's really soon.
November.
Yeah, in a few months.
And now some sort of Connect.
Yeah, so that came out, didn't there? Yeah, there'll be some Connect feature in there. I mean, they've said it's not going to be anything to do with the core gameplay. I'd imagine it's nothing to do with the game at all. It's probably in some sort of extras menu or something else that you can do with it. But they have said it won't. Don't worry, you're not going to be throwing grenades with your arms or anything.
Which is a shame to a degree.
Is it?
Yeah. Maybe not
for
in
one
Halo.
headline, it was like, don't put Connect there. But I think Microsoft may have said, or certainly if they haven't, then probably their intentions is to put some Connect into all of their games that are coming out.
Yeah, try their best.
It would make sense for them, and that's fine as long as they're doing that whole better with Connect thing, where it's just additional stuff that's not going to ruin it.
Which has been more successful.
It's a decent approach.
Yeah.
They're not forcing on it. They're going to families. Okay, you want to get a Connect for Zumba Fitness or whatever other game you're playing, so your family fun can have, and then the rest of your kids or whoever else in the family is playing actual hardcore games on this machine could then also make use of it. You've already got a Connect sitting there, why not give it a go? And that it seems to make sense. But in the same way, Microsoft have always enforced these things, like they were like size limits for XBLA titles or achievements in every game. Every game has to be live aware, all that sort of stuff. So I think it's perfectly reasonable to think that they'll go, well, all of the games that come through us as a publishing house will have some sort of Connect element added to it. Like I say, as long as it doesn't ruin anything, as long as it's not going to be required, and they're never going to make it required for these titles, then fine. Just gutting if you don't have a connection, because one of them is going to be awesome. Something's going to have some really cool feature that you're just like, man, I don't want to spend £100 on getting a Connect just for that feature, because it's just a feature that doesn't really affect the game, but it's really awesome, and that would work. That would probably be what gets me getting a Connect again, and maybe that's exactly their intention. So, it can't be too bad. Anyone play anything else then?
Yeah, I've been playing Green Lantern.
Green Lantern, the movie tie-in. Is it a movie tie-in, or is it one of these?
No,
they tend to do these games now, don't they, where they're not movie tie-ins? They're like setting up before the movie.
I don't know, because I've not watched the film.
Right. Okay,
I mean, it seems to sort of run parallel to the film. Okay. I don't know how involved it is.
Just means it's only 90 minutes long.
No, it's not 90 minutes long. I've been playing a lot longer than 90 minutes.
Right, okay.
It's not bad. It's pretty playable.
Third person shooter, like God of War style.
It's not that comprehensive to say. Right. Yeah, it's God of War. The combat's relatively tight. It's not super tight. It's got no lock-on feature, which is a bit irritating for long-range combat. But again, it's kind of along the lines of Zelda. You've got your Star Wars-esque dash move, which is your evade and block. And then you've got various cool constructs, as they're referred to, where he makes stuff out of Green Lantern energy.
Okay.
So it varies from Gatling guns to landmines to big fists to sledgehammers, mech suits. There's some cool shit in there. It's not bad at all.
No, all right. Any multiplayer in that? Or?
No, not as far as I'm aware. Like I said, there's a lot of things that are similar to it with 4, but at the same time, it looks a lot better than 4, where 4 looked a lot like a PlayStation 2 game, even in HD. Up close, Green Lantern's model himself looks pretty swish. I think it's using Unreal Tournament engine.
Yeah, probably. I'd imagine so. Who's doing it? It's Disney? No, Disney.
Warner Brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it came out at £30. You can't really.
What
knock
made you get it
that.
though? Seriously.
I didn't buy it. It's second hand. I borrowed it from work.
Right, fair enough.
So it's not costing me anything.
It's still that whole movie tie-in. I still can't get over that.
It's better than most movie tie-ins.
Okay. Yeah, and also the other thing is it's Green Lantern. It's already a step down of like what I'm interested in terms of just the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Green Lantern not big over here certainly.
He's DC, so DC's
DC?
DC's
there
not.
You go.
not as widespread as Marvel in terms of the big leagues.
Detective
anyway.
Comics.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But yeah, Superman and Batman are the heavyweights, and those are the most iconic out of the DC universe.
Yeah, that's fair.
But at the same time, it's okay. 30 quid.
Job's done.
It's not bad.
Alright. Maybe check it out if you're green. Anything else? Anyone been playing anything else otherwise I'm going to talk about Another World.
Right.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't care.
No.
Fear 3.
Fear 3, yeah,
Yes.
of course. For 3.
Yeah.
You like this game?
I like it, considering I hated the first two, like with a passion.
See, the first one I really like. I like the setup. It's what we were talking about earlier, of dropping a horror movie into something that's not supposed to be there. Like the setup of like dudes going in to investigate something just seems pretty normal, and then oh shit, stuff's really messed up here. Yeah. That's kind of cool. Fear 2, as you know, I bought today just because I feel like playing it. It's not great, but I think they're all right.
Yeah.
Fear 3 though, different. It's a different studio now. It's not Monolith. It's I don't know who it is. Ready at Dawn. I just made up Ready at. It was not Ready at Dawn at all. No. And it's got some interesting dynamic stuff to it because I'm not familiar with the Fear story, so there may be spoilers everywhere or nowhere.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't really know much of the story, but the playability of it is it plays like Call of Duty,
right?
Which for some people good, some people bad, but it also has the melee aspect on it, which is awesome. In fact, you can sprint up to someone in cover.
Oh, so it's still got all the... Because you could do like acrobatic stuff in Fear 2 and things. You can do like flying kicks and vault over objects and stuff.
Yeah.
Still got slow-mo?
Yeah, still got slow-mo. Not a massive fan of it.
It just looked nice, I think, before. It was like... There was cool particle effects of like sparks and stuff.
Yeah, which I think they sort of dumbed it down.
Okay.
In that respect.
Well, I don't know if it's the same engine or... I don't
that's
know what the consistency is from new dev going on to it, but...
But I mean, because I haven't played the previous ones, I don't think I've ever played a first-person shooter that has, like you said, the acrobatic bits to it. Like, it just felt awesome, someone in cover, and I'm sprinting towards him, jump over and kick him in the face.
Yeah, that's cool. Some Mirror's Edge style stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's still obviously very creepy.
So that's the other thing, is it? Because that was my other thing. It's like, is Fear actually still scary?
Again, bits I've played, there's been a couple of bits where, with some people, maybe it would have shit them up a bit. But it's a lot of how can I put it? It's just like the whole reflex thing. Like in the corner of your eye, see someone run, and doors shutting, things like that,
shadows and stuff.
But at the moment, it hasn't been that creepy.
Because that's the other thing. It's like throughout the story, it's all about Alma, the little girl or whatever. She's not even a little girl anymore.
No,
so it's like, well, already you've lost some of that sort of creepy factor. Now it's just sort of like a damaged woman.
And the child's the psychic projection.
Yeah. But it does interesting co-op stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah.
One of you plays as a ghost.
Yeah, which is the dead brother.
Yeah, Paxton. And that's kind of cool because when you're playing as that character, you can possess other characters.
Yeah.
Which is quite a cool little co-op thing, and then it just becomes exactly like the other one, I suppose.
Yeah.
But my understanding is that you can go through the whole single player as one character, and then you can go back and play it as the other character, which is cool.
Yeah,
that's a good way of doing like co-op stuff.
It also got challenges all the way through.
I thought so. There's lots of pop-ups going on of like commendations.
Which is a little
almost.
bit annoying, if I'm honest.
Right, okay.
Just every so often it keep popping up while you're sitting in cover.
It's a bit of a mood breaker if it's a horror game.
And you can't check your stats. You can't pause to check them. Okay. You can press back and it comes up, but you're still in play. Right. So you can't go, I need that one. Or otherwise you have to literally just stand in the corner and then press the button and read it.
Yeah,
and then go back. But it is quite good. I mean, you rank up like throughout the game. I mean, I'm like rank 4. And it's just certain things you do. You can sit behind cover for like 100 seconds and you get one. Just shooting people in the head quite a lot gets you loads of points. But it's okay. Like it's made me want to keep it, which I don't do with a lot of games.
Yeah,
they go within like 4 or 5 days. But the multiplayer I think will be quite decent. Again, I haven't played it yet, but I've got high hopes for it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long it lasts as well. That's the other thing. I'm looking forward to getting into Fear 2. I want to play that because it just have the mech stuff because that's what Fear 2 brought to say. There's like mech gameplay in it. Is there any mech stuff in Fear 3 as of yet?
Not that I've seen, no.
Because that'd be interesting if that's not there.
Oh, no, there was. Yeah. There was one level I was on where they just dropped a big mech turret type thing. Which was
You were fighting,
fighting
but you haven't actually got into a mech and
no,
been a badass
no.
yourself.
I mean, you have things like electrode grenades, which sort of stuns people.
Okay.
You know.
It's the only game that I've ever seen where you can play as a ghost that can get hurt by bullets.
Yeah.
That is true.
Which is an interesting concept. It's like, you're a ghost, and yet I can run over to you and tap the A button to revive you. Not sure how that quite works. Alright, anyone playing anything else? No, I'll tell you what I have. I've been playing a classic game by Eric Chahi called Another World. Everyone remembers Another World. It's out of this world to our American listeners.
Yeah.
You don't like this game, Shaun. You actually got me a copy. You got me a copy, and it's been a game that's been sort of haunting me for a little while. I played it at a friend's a couple of weeks ago because we were just reminiscing. It's freaking awesome. And then I was like reading up about it. Then all of a sudden you were like, "Oh, I've got a copy, PC version of 15th anniversary." And it's like, all right, fair enough. Then there were like iPhone images of it surfacing on the web, of it playing on an iPhone. Then I was clearing out my mother's attic and I found pages from an issue of GamePro from 1993 that just happened to be 4 pages of a player's guide to Another World. Something wants me to play this game again.
Or you just really like Another World.
So, and have done throughout my entire life. It's wicked. Let's not talk about it, but it's awesome. If no one's played Another World, go and play Another World. You like Flashback's nothing to do with it, but if you like Flashback, you'll love Another World. That's not
true.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's if you like Another World, you'll love Flashback.
That's not true.
Yeah, that's
true.
definitely
Flashback
true.
is not as good.
It's twice as good. It's got a teleport, dude.
That's not how you measure something's goodness. That means The Fly was too good. There was one teleporter better than Flashback.
I'll buy that.
Alright, well that's enough for another while. In that case, that's the games we've been playing for this time. We're going to take a short break and then we'll be right back with some other interesting news. Down.
To the center of my Super Mario adventure. My girl's trapped on the other side of town, so I'm moving in leaps and bounds. Folks around my way think I'm strange, but there's a villain to blame. Even my mom, she thinks I'm crazy, but I got to rescue Daisy.
Welcome back to part 2 of Things to Play Episode 4. Let's talk about some more games. We've been playing... I'm going to sneeze again.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Bless
you again.
Oh, God. I tell you what. It's a workout. So, games. Back to games. Non-related to pollen. We've... Dungeon Siege. You guys played Dungeon Siege 3.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Obsidian
doing this one.
I actually really like it. I'm not a big fan of dungeon crawlers. I prefer RPGs. We've had a private discussion about the difference between those two genres.
Yeah.
But this is actually holding my interest quite well. The powers are varied. The characters are varied. It's good. What do you think?
I personally hated it. I don't like those sort of games. I just want another Fable, and I'm never going to get it from that. So I don't care.
Right.
But you're getting more Fables from Lionhead.
We're not going to go through this.
You're asking for more of a game that's coming out pretty regularly. You know. In fact, another Fable. Yeah, it wasn't.
Isn't there another 2 Fables?
Yeah. It's like Fable's not going anywhere.
I know.
You're looking for Fable in games that aren't Fable.
That's the problem.
I picked up a copy of Lumines and I was really looking for the next test drive on Lumines. So Lumines really not for me.
Anyway,
I'll think more carefully about my purchases. Alright, so you didn't like it.
No.
So what is it then that you like about Fable that Dungeon Siege doesn't have?
I think it's just it's the community, like with the characters. Like, I just don't like the whole dialogue thing. There's not much.
Well, it's more of a personal story in Fable,
Yeah.
isn't it, than it is in Fable. You're not necessarily going on an adventure as you are going on your adventure. Whereas Dungeon Siege, you're going on an adventure with other people. Has it got cool co-op stuff though? Is it 4-player co-op or?
Yeah, it does do 4-player co-op over live. Yeah.
See that? I can imagine that being quite cool, sort of thing. I've not played it at all.
We did arrange to do a night of Dungeon Siege, and we failed miserably.
Well, we did.
No.
Right,
me,
I was going to say, 'cause that's probably
Joe,
why we failed.
and Cheryl.
Was it me?
Yeah.
Well, I was not aware of that
Yeah.
game. That's probably why.
That's probably why you
because
wasn't
no one turned
online.
up. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Joe was online for a bit, and by the time I was free to actually go online, Joe had gone back to watching whatever he was watching.
Damn you, Joe.
Is it just more Dungeon Siege? Is it? I'm not familiar with the series at all.
I've kind of dabbled in previous ones. Yeah, maybe.
Kind of a Baldur's Gate style.
Is
More that,
along the lines of Baldur's Gate, but that's the daddy of all dungeon crawlers, isn't it? Really, Untold Legends and
Diablo.
Baldur's Gate and Diablo.
Good
Though
old.
there's a bit more freedom in Diablo. These are corridors, kind of.
Yeah, there's no.
There's no
freedom
kind of
at all.
over. There is. You can backtrack, though. There's not much there once you've wiped out the main villain in that section.
What's it look like? Does it look alright? It's Obsidian doing it, isn't it? So they're not bad.
It's okay graphically. It's not writing any books or
Right.
there's nothing to really write home about. It functions. The environments look pretty. The magic effects look pretty, but
Yeah.
it.
I mean, the other thing
needs
is you're
to
getting a
do.
lot of games like this now on XBLA.
Yeah.
You know, things like Torchlight and Daggerdale and stuff like that. And so to me, it's one of those games that almost doesn't feel like it's a genre now that doesn't feel good enough to be almost a retail release.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. I can see that.
And it's not necessarily anything against it. It's more of a case of the fact that like things like Torchlight are really, really good.
Torchlight was a very compelling game.
Yeah, and Torchlight 2 looks like it's going to be awesome. But you're getting a lot of, you know, if you're going to buy an XBLA game and you're just going for like value for money, something like that. I mean, Torchlight would be
Yeah.
loads, you know, in comparison to something else.
But yeah, I mean, Sacred 2 again was of the same ilk. Did 4-player co-op, and people went mad for it,
Yeah,
and it was just rubbish.
Yeah.
It
but
was-
they went
it
mad
was-
for it.
We did, yeah.
Other people did,
Right.
but we're talking kind of. I don't want to be mean to
Okay.
the geeky community,
It's fine.
but it was the geeks that went mad for it.
Right. Okay.
See, I liked it. I liked it until I lost my horse. And that really annoyed me. I
Right,
paid
okay.
all my hard-earned gold for it, for a horse, and he died, and I can't get him back.
You can't get another one like
Well,
Red
you
Dead.
can, but I'd need to get money again.
Right.
And
Okay.
it's like, well, that was just pointless purchase, really.
A horse is one of those things. Like, if you get, I mean, there are lots of games give you companions or sidekicks or animals or whatever, and a horse is an important one.
Yeah, because
It's kind of one
it's
that's
massive
always
game
been
as
like,
well.
yeah, that's my horse. You know,
Yeah.
I gave a damn about my horse in Red Dead, and I really, really gave a damn about my horse in Zelda. Speaking of Zelda, and in particular the one with the horse moment in it with the Pona. Ocarina of Time's out now on 3DS, isn't it?
Yes,
I understand you've been playing that, Shaun, and I don't entirely know why.
because Ocarina of Time is awesome.
It is awesome, yeah. I have no desire to ever play it again, though. I feel like it's like one of those sacred beauties I never want to go back to.
It hasn't changed. A lot of games you can't go back to. Zelda fundamentally is Zelda. I mean, Wind Waker, even though certain mechanics are different, it's still the same. It fits into the same hole.
Yeah.
Your horse is replaced by a boat. Your Ocarina is
already
replaced
lost me.
by a little thingy. What are they? The conductors have baton.
Right, okay. Alright.
And it looks fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the original looks bad anyway. I think if you looked at it now, it probably would
It's
look
misty.
dreadful. But this is all like redone and up-res and high and stuff.
It's
Nice.
new models, even though it's keeping the same vein. It's still quite angular for the characters, not so much for the environment anymore. It's a bit more smooth and
So it's
round.
almost got that style. It almost takes it as a style. There's not the quality
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
graphics, but there's that sort of slightly blocky
Obviously, the
style,
N64 is a
simple style.
very edgy machine
Yeah,
in
yeah.
graphics.
So, yeah, I mean, how does tell us about it? What's different about it? I mean, because what changes are they made for the DS? Like touchscreen stuff?
There is touchscreen stuff.
How do you play the Ocarina?
The Ocarina's done exactly the same way, but with buttons, obviously.
Right.
You're not blowing into the mic or anything.
Shame.
they've not done anything particularly snappy with the Ocarina. You can do it on the touchscreen. All the buttons are there on the touchscreen, though I haven't done that. Certain things are quite cool. When you've got your little slingshot out, you can use the gyroscope of the 3DS.
Yeah, see, that's to look. I don't understand the big push on that. That's not.
You don't. It's optional.
I mean, that's Steel Diver, isn't it? That's exactly what. How
Steel Diver.
And I can imagine it for them because it's the whole game, and that's his thing. But it's not. That's not something I want to do.
It's optional. It's optional. It's not forced upon you. You can use the analog slider to do it instead.
Well, why do they do it then?
Because
you're actually you can, so we do.
Yeah, when you're actually playing, it's quite intuitive. You think it's not gonna be. And did you try it with the gyroscope?
I did. I hated it.
But I find it quite intuitive. I just moved the thing. The problem with it is when it goes out of 3D sync with your eyes, it's really bad on Zelda.
That's the other problem with moving a thing around.
To a degree, I think playing Face Raiders, the built-in software on it, helps you adjust to keeping things in 3D while moving around. Because obviously, again, like Steel Diver, it's focused on the gyroscope. Zelda seems to be, if you lose the 3D snap, it's really bad. You just cannot see anything, and it takes you like a second or two to get that back.
Nice.
But when it is in 3D, it looks shit hot. I mean, I might be being biased. I'm quite a big Zelda fan. I've played since the original on NES. I don't really like the other DS ones, but the main console ones I do. And
so have you got to the water temple in it yet? Because that's where they've actually made changes.
Oh right,
to it,
I haven't got. I'm nowhere near that far.
Right, okay.
I haven't even got the sort of.
So because I understand they've improved that from the complaints and the sort of confusing nature of it, I suppose.
It's not that confusing.
They have made a big deal out of the fact that they've changed the water temple. So that game's cool. I just don't really desire to play it again.
I think, obviously Nintendo are banking a lot on it, and it has shifted 3DSs. We've sold 4 with Zelda, in comparison to the none that we sold for quite a long time.
Yeah, sure. It'd be interesting to see how that tails off. Yeah. I wonder if you used to expect a lot of people to be buying it that day. Like there should be a lot, because there's a lot of anticipation in it being Zelda. But everything Nintendo are banking on is, it's Zelda, come on man, we sell loads of these. Day one for Zelda should be quite a good tell, because there should be a lot of fans wanting a new Zelda game, and it'd just be interesting to see how it tails off.
The problem is, it's not a new Zelda game, is it?
No, exactly.
It's an old Zelda game.
But then to the people that would be buying 3DSs, presumably it would be completely.
I don't know, because I'm looking at.
Well, but this is the very problem. I think this is the problem with the 3DS, isn't it? Is that we bought them and other people haven't. They're
Plus,
just new.
It's a lot of money for one game.
Yeah,
You've got to realise that not that many people do.
But to be fair, it's usually one game that gets you to buy that.
Yeah, it's a big hitter.
For me, it was Knights of the Old Republic. I wasn't going to touch an Xbox until I saw that game, and I was like, man, I need Star Wars RPG.
But then that's still a new game. Do you know what I mean? I wonder also how many kids are put off by the fact that, when they know it's an old game. Just like, I don't necessarily. I'll wait for proper Zelda. That sort of viewpoint.
A lot of people may very well have that.
It'll be interesting. To see how it goes. I anticipate it won't do as well as they're hoping it will.
No, by no means will it.
But personally, I think still the problem with the 3DS was the press it got on day one, with the papers slagging it off, saying it hurt your eyes.
Yeah, I mean that stuff doesn't help.
It genuinely has destroyed them, because like people who come into us where we work, they always mention it. Like every Tom and Dick and Harry have seen that article.
Well, and it's because as well, it's the sort of it's the further-reaching, trashier newspapers that are doing it. That's
especially.
The thing. And so it's without being too harsh, it's like it's falling on the uneducated largely anyway.
Yeah.
Who are naive to stuff and just take that. That's the only exposure they get to it, and it's like, well, this is a bad thing, or. It's a good argument. When you're a parent, you need as many arguments as you can to not buy the child the thing they want. And that's kind of like, well, it's going to hurt your eyes, therefore done. Because they're all expensive. Adults don't want to be spending out sort of £200 or £300 on these things. They've got some ammo, they'll use it against their kids. And as a kid, you're like all doctors come from the same. They live in the same house and all the same person. They're just this force, and you can't argue with it. Well, science and medicine says that I can't have this. So I'm just a kid. I can't take that on. I'll go and play Call of Duty and swear at people. So yeah, all right, Zelda.
Yeah.
Was there something else we played? There was something else we played. We were talking earlier
Red
during
Faction.
the game. Red Faction. You played some Red Faction.
Played a bit of Red Faction.
Armageddon.
Yeah. What can you say about Red Faction? It's okay. It's got good weapons, but like all Red Faction, the lead character's just weak. You don't give a toss about the plot.
That's fine. Doesn't matter. That didn't matter in Guerrilla because Guerrilla was
No,
just like,
Guerrilla-
hey, here's a sandbox. Go hit it with a hammer.
Exactly. That was the big selling point of Guerrilla, and that's why Guerrilla ultimately is a better game
Right.
because it's,
so they shouldn't. I mean, 'cause it's weird, isn't it? It's like
they
like
can't
the whole
make
world
up
was
their
crying out
mind.
for Volition to do more of Guerrilla.
Yeah.
It's like that was awesome. Made Red Faction cool, brought it to the masses or whatever. And then they go and do the complete opposite and go, no, we're changing all of that.
Well, it's like with Red Faction, they haven't decided. So the first two are first-person shooters.
Yeah, well, I think that's what Guerrilla is very much kind of a reboot in that thing.
The third
Writing
again,
off the other two.
was open world, but it's not. It still ties in. The plot still ties in.
Yeah, no, sure. But I think ultimately they're not going to do. I think what this the third person stuff of Red Faction is what Red Faction is now.
But it's not third person. This one. That's the point. It's not. It's second person.
What's second person?
Over the shoulder camera. It's like Resident Evil.
Right,
That's second person. Like Full Spectrum Warrior, I think, was kind of like the first second person. Mass Effect is second person. Third person's a wider angle. You can see more of what's going on around you.
All right. Well, but it's the same control layout and stuff.
Yeah, but so are first persons. There's in my mind.
Okay.
No. In my mind,
right.
if you shut up for 1 second, in my mind, there's no reason why you can't have a game that switches from first.
No
to
one
second
ever
to
describes a
third.
game as a second-person game. When has anyone ever said that?
Yeah, magazines.
That's
I've
why
seen
we're just
it's
questioning.
second person.
Okay. So the second person,
As Halo
shooter-
shows you, when you pick up a big gun,
All right,
it switches to
all right,
third
that's
person.
Fine. That's fine. It's just that I would still say it's a third-person game.
Okay, you can.
That's
You're
fine.
wrong.
Yeah, no, it's
but
fine.
it's all right.
That's fine. All right. So just now we understand. So yeah, why is it bad?
It's just generic. The characters, the plot. You just
But
don't
it's
care.
Red Faction. It was never. It was not making a Star Wars or a Dune. It's hit things with a hammer, right?
Yeah, you do.
So
a
isn't
bit.
that fun? Isn't
Yeah,
that cool?
for a bit, and then you get bored.
Wow. Okay.
The mech suits are pretty cool in it.
All right.
You kind of got fast-paced mech suits with big guns and rockets and stuff on.
But it's not just more of a Faction guerrilla.
No,
Right.
you're underground this time. It's not open world. It's corridor based levels in effect, broken up with cutscenes. So it's kind of gone more back to the originals.
Right, and you can and except for they were first person.
Right.
I don't know, ages ago. Who cares?
But they're all underground in corridors, weren't they? That's my
I
point.
suppose they were. Because they were showing off the geomod stuff, weren't they?
Yeah.
and making their routes to things. So you can rebuild stuff in this. That's one of the new things,
Yeah.
right? You can rebuild as well as breaking stuff down.
Which I think is your Nano Forge.
Yeah. How does that affect things? Because that, to me, I'm just not interested in rebuilding stuff. Or it seems like you're asking me to put myself in situations where I've broken something that I needed to be fixed.
Yeah. Well, you do.
Right.
Where in 1 and 2 it was kind of you can blow holes in walls with rockets and stuff, so if you come to a locked door you blow out the side of the wall and just go through the hole. This doesn't really have that effect with the ground and the walls.
Right.
You just demolish buildings like in 3 in Guerrilla. It's like you're taking down structures and buildings and stuff like that, but a lot of those are walkways. So when you're shooting at enemies, you're blowing up walkways that you then need to get to places and through doors. So you need a mechanic to rebuild that, which is the Nano Forge on your arm. And it looks pretty cool when you rebuild stuff. It's a bit irritating because you're wandering along at mile an hour with your arm out, not being able to shoot.
Right, okay. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't... Red Faction, it's weird, Red Faction. I don't quite understand what they're doing with it now that Armageddon's out. And there was that XBLA game as well, wasn't there? There was the Battle...
Yeah, it's rubbish.
And there's a sci-fi television series, so...
Yeah. Well, it does... It's all tied, the Armageddon stuff with the sci-fi.
Right, okay.
Because it says on the box a sci-fi game.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I don't know. Weird one. Feels like Volition have dropped the ball.
I don't know. A lot of people come back to me and completed within about 8 hours, but said they enjoyed it. Personally, I got bored of it, and it seemed most people in the shop, staff-wise, got bored of it pretty quickly. I think Joe was playing it for a bit and got bored of it.
I wonder what the breakdown of staff is at Volition on that and Saints Row. But it does seem that the Red Faction was certainly seemed to be one of THQ's big games. You know, they've done all the sci-fi stuff as well. It's quite a big push behind it, and the XBLA game. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that going forward. So difficult one to call. Saints Row, on the other hand, looks awesome and can't come soon enough. I reckon there's full-on gameplay now up online of Saints Row the Third. And it's all the gameplay from all the interviews from E3, but you can now watch it sort of uninterrupted, and that game just looks nuts. I want that game so badly, and everything they put in it's just cool, you know. It might go too far. It might go too far to the point of where it's not going to put everyone off, but it might put me off. Where I just think that's just a little bit too silly, and that can be one of those things that snaps me out of a game. But I think even if they do that, everyone's going to love it.
Yeah, it'll be only you not loving it. And it still shocks me that people come into the shop and they're like, GTA, and they've not tried Saints Row.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, it's like $7.99. Pick it up, play it, give it a go. And we play number one, and number one is kind of still
the first Saints Row at all.
It's still teetering towards GTA with a little bit of silliness, but not too much. When you pick up two's when it's found its feet. Yeah. It's running, and two's awesome, and I cannot wait for 3.
It's not. I mean, Saints Row 3 just looks. The only other game that's given me that feeling of man, this looks like it's going to be fun. It's Just Cause. It's Just Cause 2 from it. Both of that and Saints Row 3. When I look at first, I'm just like, man, I just want to fuck about in these worlds, you know. And it's almost, it again makes me what you want is that people are looking for basically the Saints Row cities inside a Just Cause sort of world, you know. So you've got that level of expanse, but then that level of detail in the populated places and stuff. That would be wicked.
Yeah.
And those levels of craziness
and probably come on 19 discs.
Oh yeah. Certainly until we find some other way of doing that. So that looks cool. I am looking forward to that.
Definitely.
Why not? Like I say, I'm back on 2 this Wednesday.
2?
On Saints Row 2.
Why?
I didn't pick up the DLC when it was out. I haven't played Saints for ages, and me and Joe just decided to play for the achievements. And
you're co-oping through it, are you?
Yeah, we're literally gonna have a whole day of going through everything we can. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Did you see the Buggy Saints Row musical thing?
No.
From years ago. Amazing. We'll link to it in the show notes, but I'll have to show it to it. It's some guy that's written a Saints Row musical based on the bugs and glitches from the first Saints Row.
Right.
And it's an amazing music video. So we will definitely link to that as well. That's wicked. I'll show you that. All right, then. What about news? Anything happened in news in the last 2 weeks? We're still a bit of a lull because of E3. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Little brief stuff is
more people have been hacked.
Scotland Yard arrested one dude.
Oh, really?
But this is not one dude, and this is most likely not one dude in the UK.
Yeah.
And it's worse than that. It doesn't solve the problem at all. It's like nothing. And Lolsec have been on Twitter going, yeah, just making fun of the whole thing. So that happened. Marathon's coming to the iPad. That's awesome. Everyone who hasn't played Marathon should definitely play it. And if it takes an iPad to do that, then do that. Silent Generations demo is up. We haven't seen it, but we will, and we'll talk about that maybe next time. We have a website. We're on a website now.
Woohoo!
Yeah, a special website, which is at thingsweplay.co.uk. Simply because it rhymes. And that's up. It may change a bit, but there's stuff there, and we'll occasionally be putting other things up other than the podcast. So you might find stuff that we have written, or stuff that we have videoed, or stuff that we didn't record now. So check that out and leave us comments and things. We should get some more comment stuff. We should get people talking to us. People want people to talk to us. Email us. Yes, you should email us. I don't know how. We haven't got an email address.
No. But they can Twitter us.
You can catch us on Twitter at Things We Play. Send us stuff there, or alternatively leave comment on the site thingsweplay.co.uk. Only because it rhymes. Brought to you by Dr. Pepper. But yeah, so people should get in contact and say stuff. They should go punch Cheryl.
Yeah.
And maybe that would happen on a later episode.
Never know.
Yeah. Or they could say, don't punch Cheryl.
No.
And then that wouldn't happen.
I feel now...
This week we had lots of emails from people saying, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. So we didn't do any of it.
Right. I feel now that we've spoken about Joe so much, at some point we're going to have to get him on the show and introduce him.
The Psycho Penguin.
The Psycho Penguin. I added you as a friend on Xbox Live, but your list was full. It's the last thing you said to me.
It was.
I have cleared my list, Joe. Fire when ready. Alright, well in that case I guess that's probably it. Unless anyone else has anything else to add.
Nothing really at the moment.
Sweet. We're going to go away and play some games. We'll be back in 2 weeks to talk about those experiences. It's been great having you all here. We'll see you next time.
Next time.